So you let your party level up. Good. And now they're going to have more spells and abilities to create cooler stories in the game of Dungeons & Dragons. Let's do a little bit of story time today. I'm going to take you back to 2025, which in February of 2026, it means that was about 15 years ago with all the stuff that's been happening in the world that's made it feel like it was about 5 years worth of time in the month of January. Now, back in February of 2025, I was at MagicCon Chicago, where I met my good friend Sean, Crit Hit the Giant, at a game before we knew each other. Like, this was the day that we met, and before we started our actual play stuff, which also happened by random chance, as we just happened to both be in the same game where I was DMing and he was a player, and that was our Songs of Fate campaign that we did on Twitch, on the D&D with D Twitch channel. Now, at this convention, it was all a level 1 set for the new Legends of Greyhawk organized play. This was the opening set for that. It was the opening event. It was the first event for Legends of Greyhawk. So all this stuff was brand new. All the floor was reset from the other organized plays like Adventurers League, where everything was super high powered. Now everyone was basically reset down to level 1. There was some new players at the convention, and it was a good time. Now, the story that I have is actually the game that I played with Sean, Crit Hit the Giant, and I will never forget this event because it was absolutely wild. We had 4 players at the table, one of which was my friend Sean, and then there was these 2 guys who were fairly new to the game, and then one of Sean's friends. We were at this table, and they were going through this event, and they had set an ambush for some enemies that were causing some trouble in a town. And what they did was the cleric in the party, a level 1 cleric, convinced everybody he had a plan. Go set up on that hill. We're going to have this ambush. It's going to be great. The cleric comes into view with the people that he was leading, saying that they had totally had this treasure out here that they were going to find. And he pulled them all around him, and he says, all right, I'm going to draw the map for you in the sand. And then the actual player and the character, because they transferred to that, stood up at the table and yelled out, "Word of Radiance!" because all the enemies were surrounding him, but he was surrounded by enemies as a level 1 cleric. Now, you might think that was a bad situation, but I roll my dice in the open, and this guy had the most incredibly lucky series of dice rolls where his cleric was rolling around on the ground, dodging ice knives and wolf attacks and all sorts of things as the party picked off these things from range, as this level 1 cleric who started the party by yelling out Word of Radiance in the entire event hall and was getting missed by all sorts of attacks, and it was a really funny, good time. And that's actually where I met my now good friend Crit Hit the Giant, so it's like a double memorable story. I'm Adapt. Follow me for more tips and tricks on how to play high-level Dungeons & Dragons.